Hey there, it's Davin Michaels, founder and CEO of 123Employee, the premier outsourcing centers in the Philippines. And I want to welcome you to this short hangout. And we're going to be talking about off-page strategies for marketing your business. And why are we sharing this information with you? Well, if you're not familiar with 123Employee, we're the premier outsourcing centers in the Philippines. We have 3 centers, hundreds and hundreds of employees, and we work with entrepreneurs all over the globe and some of the biggest thought leaders on the planet. And we do their internet marketing, their social media, their telemarketing, their back office tasks, all the busy stuff in their business so they can focus on the income generating activities in their business, growing their business, and focus on what juices them and excites them. Our mission at 123Employee is to rescue lifestyle starved entrepreneurs, give them their time back and their lives back. And I am a New York Times bestselling author. I am a speaker, and both myself and our VP, who you'll meet in a minute, Bijal Parmar, we speak on stages all over the globe, big stages. And we both love hanging out with entrepreneurs. We love getting to know them. And we always ask them what are the biggest challenges in their business that they face today. And we receive a myriad of different responses, but it generally comes down to 2. One is time. Entrepreneurs want to know how to get their time back. And let's face it, no matter how much money we're making, my time's worth a couple $1,000s an hour, but I still can't buy time. No matter how much money I'm making, I can't buy time. It's the one thing that's precious, it's fleeting, we can't buy it. And in addition to that, entrepreneurs also state that their biggest challenge is getting more business coming in the door. And it's our contention that if you can sort of if you can work out the traffic thing, if you can work out the leads thing, if you can work it out so that you're receiving a ton of business coming in all day long, your bank accounts are filling up with money, then the odds are that you can buy yourself out of just about any challenge that you face in your business. So if you can overcome the challenge of generating leads, lead gen, then you're going to be successful in business. And so that's our focus at 123Employee. We're very marketing centric. We realize that the lifeblood of all business is marketing. If you don't ask us to do something otherwise, we're going to focus on marketing. Now, some people come to us and they say, "Hey, just do my phone follow-up, do my scheduling, be my virtual assistant, whatever, do my data entry." We're happy to do all that stuff. But if you don't ask us, our focus is going to be marketing because that is the lifeblood of all business. So quite often we'll do webinars, hangouts, educational webinars, educational hangouts, where we share with our clients how to do all this stuff. And the reason why is we want to empower them to be more successful. Once they understand how to do this stuff, they also can understand how to task it out to somebody else, how to outsource it to somebody else, and quite often they end up utilizing our services. And so that's why we do this. We're very early adopters in the outsourcing business. It was a long time ago. Entrepreneurs didn't really understand it, and so we realized early on that we had to switch to an educational model. So what we do is we educate and we empower our clients, and then they go out there and they work with us, but they're more successful and they grow. And once in a while we have home runs where we have clients hire us for like 1 employee or a part-time employee, and then they go to 10 employees and then to 40 employees. And we've been able to build a business doing this, and we love it because it's a symbiotic relationship. We win as well as our clients. So I'm joined here today with our Vice President of 123Employee, Bijal Parmar. Bijal, welcome to the Hangout.
Hey, Davin. Hey, from the other side of the world.
All right, it's good to have you, B. And you want to kind of lead us into what we're going to be chatting about today?
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about article and video marketing, and I want to talk about the 90-day plan of action. You know, I believe today that in 90 days you can truly transform who you appear to be, the perception of you on the internet. And so we're going to talk about how we can do that using article and video marketing. And the starting point is SEO. Now, people think, well, what do you mean by SEO? And I'm talking about very specifically SEO in terms of finding the right keywords that will be part of your article and video strategy. So a lot of people say, they may not rank organically in their websites, but a lot of their material, the content, might rank for some of those keywords, especially when it comes to videos. So we'll talk about how we can actually, do the work once in terms of creating an article, and then how to leverage that article in terms of content for social media, in terms of content for the video, and actually converting the whole article into a video automatically. So that's kind of the gist of what we're going to be covering today. So let's just kind of jump straight into it. And that's the starting point, is article marketing. And really, you're the kind of one who turned me on to the power of article marketing. It has changed. I mean, Google has kind of introduced a lot of algorithms that makes it less effective, but it's still a powerful technique. And I've seen a lot of our articles and even some of our clients' articles ranked for keywords. So it's not completely dead, but the game has changed. So you want to kind of tell us about some of the stuff we've been doing with articles.
Sure, absolutely. And I apologize for that. Hang on a second. I'll just dump that call. Okay, there we go. All right, so article marketing, it's changed a lot. We used to use article marketing specifically for SEO. Now it's a whole different strategy to basically achieve a whole different objective. So let's talk about what is article marketing. Well, article marketing is creating short content articles, and this is generally 300 to 600 words. 600 words is definitely our sweet spot these days. So it all starts with first identifying the key phrases that are going to bring in the most amount of traffic and have the least amount of competition. So once we identify those key phrases, the next thing we do is we craft an article. And this article, although you should be utilizing it in your business, you shouldn't be creating these articles yourself because it's way below your pay grade. You should be focused on only the income generating activities in your business. And just to explain what that is, I'm sure you'll agree that there's about 1,000 tasks you can do every day in your business, but only a small handful that generate immediate bottom line results. And that's what we call income generating activities, the things that actually drive your business forward. And this is what you want to be solely focused on, and then all the minutia just needs to be outsourced or delegated to somebody else. So one of those tasks, of course, would be article marketing, because you can have articles written for you for like $7, and you can do that actually on the 123Employee site. We offer them at cost just because we utilize it, we realize that our clients need that service. So you then request the article, articles are created. The next thing is, once we have the article, we're going to post it to our own blog because we want it to be original content credited to us. So we're going to have our virtual assistant post this on our blog, and then we're going to give it a day or two to let it get indexed, and we'll usually ping some weblogs out there and make sure that it gets indexed right away. Once it's indexed, we're going to post it to the largest article directory online. Bajal, what's that?
It's eZine.
That's eZine, right? eZine, eZine, tomato, tomato. And so you're going to post that to eZine, and then we're going to, what's usually going to happen is they're going to reject that, because eZine really likes to have original content. And if we've already posted on your blog, it's not original content. So we have a templatized message. We respond back to eZine saying, hey, this actually is my content. It's my original content. It's on my blog, and I want to post it on eZine. And then they approve it, and we post it on eZine. Then the next thing, we do all this manually. The next thing we do is there are thousands of other article directories out there, and we're going to post to them utilizing software. Okay, and then finally, once that's done, we're going to post this in our social media like Facebook, and then we're going to chop it up and we're going to microblog it on sites like Twitter. The net result, though, is this: we're going to get valuable backlinks, and backlinks are great for SEO. In addition to that, we're going to get more traffic, and obviously, more eyeballs equals more dollars. But here's a really important question, and this is really why we focus on article marketing today, and that is social proof important? And the answer is yes, social proof is vitally important today. And if people are going to work with you, the question is, are they going to check you out? And the answer is absolutely, they are going to check you out. And how are they going to do that? They're just going to go onto Google and they're going to type in your name. And if they see hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of pages with articles and videos and expert testimonials, is this going to instill a buying decision? And the answer is absolutely yes. So although we use article marketing for SEO, we're really using it to generate more traffic, and even more importantly, to give us excellent social proof. And that's why we do article marketing.
And you can extract content from the article and use that in social media, so kind of microblogging, so you can pull out sentences that link back to the article, and if you do it right, you can have opt-in forms on your blog directly there, so when people come to actually read your article, you can get them back into your list without really selling them on anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's even platforms for social media, so that you can have opt-in pages in your social media. And of course, you can just have like a link back. You can have a byline with a link back to something for free. That's a good way to do it. But there's also platforms that will interface with whatever CRM you're using to actually have opt-in boxes in your social media after the articles.
A lot of people ask us, well, why we can't use 123 VAs for article writing. So maybe you want to just kind of speak to that, Darren.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So you can use 123 Employee to create articles, but not the virtual assistant. So I'll explain. We are based in the Philippines, and that's because we have a young workforce that is very excited about doing the work. They love doing it. And they're smart kids, and adults too. And in addition to that, though, we chose the Philippines because they're very westernized. You crack a joke, they crack one right back at you. English is their first/second language. But as good as they are at speaking English, their writing is about 85%, which makes perfect sense. If you learn a new language, you might get proficient at speaking it, but it might take you a long time to get proficient at writing it because you speak more than you write. So as a result, we don't bother really having most of our virtual assistants do the writing when it comes to writing articles. We have a U.S. writing team that does it. They do a nice job, and they will create articles that are not like, top of the line amazing articles. We have other writers for that kind of thing, but they're good articles. They're good SEO type articles, and that's why they're so inexpensive. And these are great articles to post on your blogs and your social media and so on and so forth. And so you just use our U.S. writing team. They'll create them for, on average, about $7 an article, and then once they're done, you give them to your virtual assistant to do all the content aggregation.
Yeah, and I do have to point out here, Darren, that when people use the 123 article writing service, it's a great starting point. What people have to realize, though, that there are article writers out there who will charge $50 to $100 per article as well. So you get what you pay for in the marketing world. So what we provide through 123 is a great starting point, experienced writers. But if you're for more technical content, you may have to go to a specialist who specializes just in those type of articles, and they might cost you 25, 50, and maybe even more. But you'll fill that out as you start to work with our writing team to see what you're going to get. Another thing, going back to what the 123 Employee VAs can be doing for you, and this kind of moves into the content area, is they can be researching content. What are your competitors putting out there? What are some of the high-ranking articles in your niche? Now, this is something your VAs can be doing for you, and they can pull in this data. What's the latest news in your industry? And creating summary documents that you can then look through, pick out the stuff that is relevant for you, and then pass that on to your writing team for actually writing. So that is a great use of time for your 123 VAs.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to blogging. So when we did when we did the book launch, Davin, we did a lot of work with guest blogging, finding bloggers who had a lot of traffic, a big following. And we kind of used our VAs to find them, but also then to send emails in terms of, hey, would you feature Davin Michaels as a featured kind of guest on your blog? Can you explain how that process worked?
Yeah, absolutely. So we utilized our outsourced virtual assistants during the big book promo for my last book, Outsource Smart, which became a New York Times best-selling book, and now I'm a New York Times best-selling author. And it would not have been possible without our virtual assistants. We had our virtual assistants doing so many tasks. We really stretched them. It was incredible. They were an integral part of the whole campaign. And one of the things we did was guest blogging. We tried to get a lot of press for the campaign, but we had so much on our plate just trying to make it a New York Times bestseller that we really held off the press campaign till after the book became a New York Times bestseller. And so we focused on some other things. There are blogs out there. They get so much traffic that they actually trump radio and television stations. So having your book on that blog or a book review on that blog rather than a TV show appearance actually trump those numbers. So what we had our virtual assistants do is they jumped on Technorati, and we gave them a criteria for the type of blogs we wanted to be on. They researched those, they reached out to those people on our behalf, and we got those people to either agree to review the book or allow me to guest blog. Now, I don't have a lot of time. I do write my own books, but I don't have a lot of time. So when it came to the guest blogging, I, for the most part, didn't write those blog posts. But I didn't have our team write them either. We had some I went to some higher level writers. I have one that I work with pretty regularly, and I'll kind of dictate what I'll want in that blog post, and then I send it over to her. She'll write it, and then I'll double check it, and then we post it. And I don't know, I probably shouldn't be sharing that, but that's how we do it. So it's kind of my cliff notes with her writing that, and I just do it on the move. You know, I travel quite a bit, so I'm on an airplane, so I'll just record it into my iPhone, and then I shoot that over to her. She'll clean it up, I'll approve it, and then we'll send it out as a guest blog.
Yeah, and you know, just kind of touching that point. I mean, here's the reality: a lot of the best-selling authors out there, they don't technically write their books. They're just kind of dictating the concept of the book, and they have a whole writing team behind them doing it. You know, and I know in your case you actually wrote your books because I was there, you know, reading paragraph by paragraph as you spun it out. So that's great. Now, just coming back to guest blogging, you don't want to start that process unless you look good online. I mean, if your website's crappy, if your media out there, your video, you don't have video, you don't have articles, don't try and become a guest blogger because they're not going to have you on. You need to look professional. Your site needs to look, you know, awesome. Your material needs to be out there so that when they evaluate whether they want you on their blog, on their show per se, you look the part. So, you know, get your bases covered before you start that process.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, well that jumps, you know, that leads us into kind of the next subject here, which is video, and that's, I think, is something that we particularly love video, and video opens up a lot of doors. But let's talk about exactly what we're doing, Hangouts. Why are Hangouts become so popular these days?
Well, absolutely. Hangouts are really cool. Well, I guess if you're watching a Hangout, you obviously know what a Hangout is, but maybe you don't know everything that it's capable of doing. So Hangouts was created by Google because it was sort of the answer to webinars. They wanted to create a webinar-type product. The great thing about Google Hangouts is you can have unlimited users, and it's absolutely free. On a webinar, you might be limited to a 100-person account, 100-seat account, or a 1,000-seat account, and you may pay anywhere from $100 to several $100s a month. Google Hangouts totally free. In addition to that, once you wrap up the webinar, it is then rendered and it becomes a YouTube video, and then you get organic traffic. And at the same time, I actually published this webinar to our followers and the public as well. So while we're recording this and broadcasting this with Bijal and I, some people, our followers, are watching this live. And so it's very cool. It's HD video. It has all kinds of bells and whistles. The only thing it doesn't have is the ability to get people registered. So if you've got people coming in from the outside world, they're just going to watch it, but they may not register with you. Matter of fact, they can't. There's nowhere for them to register. There's nowhere for them to opt in. But there are tools out there, one we particularly like, Webinar Jam, that allows all that to happen, which is great. It's a really cool solution. We love doing Hangouts, and we're doing more and more of them. Even though we still do a ton of webinars, we're doing more Hangouts now.
I remember in the early days, putting green screens up and, you know, doing all the kind of fancy backgrounds was all part of the show. But from a marketing perspective these days, what I see seems to work the best are the candid the videos. You know, people in exciting locations. You know, 1 to 2 minutes seems to be kind of the attention span of people these days. And you can pretty much shoot most of your marketing videos right there from your smartphone.
Absolutely. We call this slice of life, and we've built a whole business doing this. In the early days, we made a commitment to video marketing. When we started the business almost a decade ago, first thing we did is I would sit down for about 4 hours every month and record about 30 to 40 videos. And then over time, we began to run this business as a global business, and Bijal and I began what we call workations, where we decided we were going to run our business, you know, even though we were going to grow this brick and mortar business with hundreds and hundreds of employees, we were going to do it from a cell phone and laptop from some of the most exotic places on the planet. And that's what we've done. Today you're in India, Bijal. Today I'm in Hollywood, but, you know, I can't count how many countries I've been in over the last, you know, month or two alone. And we run the business all over, and wherever we're traveling, we're always shooting video. And we usually just sort of pull out our iPhones and we record quick, you know, 1 to 3 minute videos that are basically tips on how to outsource and how to market. and we post them. Today, those videos have grown to over 1,200 videos. We've had over 7.3 million views. And do you think that's changed our business? It has changed the entire face of our business. We're now a global company, and it's because of those videos that have been viewed internationally. And as a part of our book launch, we had a video launch in the book launch. Bijal had an idea. It was during the whole Gangnam Style thing with Psy, and he thought, hey, why don't we create a Gangnam Style video? And so we did. We shut down the streets in front of one of our facilities. We had hundreds of our employees pour into the street, and we shot a Gangnam Style video called Outsourcing Style. And it was a huge hit, and I believe it's what pushed the book over the top and created that New York Times bestseller. So video marketing can be a huge asset for your business, a huge boon to business, and it can really be used to grow your brand, to grow the size of your company, and to grow the range of the company as far as its global reach.
Yeah, and if you're interested in checking that video out, I think if you just YouTube outsourcing style, maybe add the word Davin Michaels there, it should pop up for you. You can have a look at that video.
Yeah.
You just mentioned something that just didn't strike me, which is a decade. When I first started 123, 123 was 6 years old. And I think I've been saying we've been in business for 6 years ever since I started 123, which was 4 years ago. And so
right.
now I'd have to switch to it's been a decade.
It's been quite a while. It's been a while.
Now, in terms of content ideas, you can use the same process for getting ideas for your video as with articles. I always say, start with SEO, so have a good list of keywords that you can use for your videos, but also see what your competitors are doing. And also, there's still a formula that works really well out there, which is what we call the FAQ, SAQ formula, which is frequently asked questions and should ask questions, which is really answering the questions your prospects want to learn from you. That's a great formula for still creating content videos. What are some of the other ideas we've kind of worked with out there in terms of video ideas? Because a lot of times we're just doing it off the cuff. I mean, we'll find ourselves in a interesting location, and we'll just kind of shoot a video off cuff. But we try and connect the place we're in, to the video we're creating.
Yeah, so we do FAQ videos like you said. We do SAQ videos, which are the should ask questions, the questions that people would ask if they had enough information to know they should be asking. We also do a lot of how-to videos. For Bijal and I, we just always make it a point that when we're in an amazing destination, which is almost all the time, we shoot like a 1 to 3 minute video. And Bijal is kind of the master of tying in the location and inspiring. So he'll usually do a video like, hey, I'm here, in front of, somewhere in the Maldives, and as you can see, we're at high tide right now, and sometimes, your business, does it feel like you're drowning in the high tide, blah, 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 and then you'll offer some sort of inspiring message. Mine videos are usually very sort of practical how-to videos. So I'll be like, hey, here I am at the top of a volcano in Hawaii, and I want to talk to you about video marketing. So we both take a very different approach, but I think the lesson there is that there's no rules. There's no rules as long as you're disseminating valuable information. For me, it's specifics. For Bijal, it's more mindset. But those are all valuable to an entrepreneur, and so there's no rules. Just make it interesting. Try to make it fun. Fun always does better. Funny does better than everything, and some people are funny, some people aren't, but of course that's something to strive for. And just enjoy the process, and know that your first videos are going to be terrible, and that's okay. You just keep doing it until you get good at it. Now, Bijal and I are at the point where you turn on a camera and we'll nail it in one take and it'll sound great. But that's because now we're over 1,000 videos into it. We've been doing this for a long time. So at first, just stumble through it, knowing that you'll become an ace at it in a very short period of time.
So let's switch back to some technical stuff here, Dee. So that there's a right and wrong way to kind of post videos, which we've discovered through many years of doing this. What is the right way or better way of actually posting videos? Now, where do you post first? What you should be aware of when you're posting the videos?
Okay, sure. So first thing you want to do is come up with a title. The first few words should be exactly what you want to sort of rank for. So if we're going to do video marketing, it would be video marketing secrets revealed. dash or presented by 123Employee or something like that, because we want to rank for video marketing. And then we would do some keyword research, find some good phrases. Those would be our tags. We then want to write a good, solid description that also includes those key phrases. And then we want to have a link to whatever page we want to send them to. We want to have that link inside the description, and you want to make sure it's http://www dot and then that URL. Little tip is, if you want, you can put URLs in the subject line, at the end of the subject line, so people can just click on it. You can also put your phone number in the subject line. This is always unique because most people don't do that. And then now you've got everything sort of basically in your video, and then you want to look at how you're going to post it. Well, if you're just posting it because you want to get some traffic and stuff, that's fine. You just post it and you're good to go. But if you're actually trying to do a launch, trying to get it to go viral, then you want to add some things to it. When we go viral, in advance, we create a whole bunch of different comments, and we have our virtual assistants comment in the first hour. In addition to that, we have all our traffic sources lined up, so if people are going to mention us in their blogs, or they're going to do an email blast for us, or we're going to do our own email blast, we do everything at the same time. And that's really important. You can have a sleeper video that's posted and just sits there for a while, and then maybe the press picks it up and it takes off. But if you really want to create a splash at the beginning, then you want to have all your traffic sources and referral sources ready at once and hit it the second that you upload the video. And the reason why is your ultimate goal is to get some attention from YouTube. And if YouTube reviews it, the editors at YouTube, if there's a spike in traffic and they see the video and they like it, they'll put it on the YouTube homepage, and then your video takes off like a rocket. And that's exactly what we did during the book launch. So we had the Gangnam Style or Outsourcing Style video. We posted it all at once. We hit it with our traffic sources. We had some other partners that jumped in and hit at the same time. Our virtual assistants started commenting it all at the same time. And then what happened is, within about 48 hours, the YouTube editorial staff saw it, and then within about another 48 hours, they put it on the homepage, and then it took off, and we had 250,000 views in about 4 or 5 days.
It was a great campaign, and I think really kind of set a new precedent of what we can do with videos. Leads me to another question, Dee, which is, when we've talked about YouTube, is it worth spending time on any other video channel?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I would spend 90% of your time on YouTube. Having said that, every time we wrap up a video, our team uses software to post to other video directories, because if you post on other video directories, you're going to get more valuable backlinks, you're going to get more eyeballs, which equal more dollars, and you're going to get more social proof, more links out there. So absolutely have your virtual assistant do that, but of course the main focus is YouTube, because YouTube is owned by Google, and so you get just great ranking on YouTube. And also, if you're watching this, the odds are very good that you're in a highly competitive niche, because today most niches are competitive. And it may be very expensive for you and or very time consuming for you to get ranked on page 1 of Google. And here's a question for you, Bajal. Is page 2 important?
Nope.
No, page 2 doesn't matter.
No, not really. I mean, I don't remember the last time I went to page 2.
Exactly.
The only time I went to page 2 was we were doing some work for a client, and we're looking at some complaints.
Yeah,
so we wanted to see how deep those complaints went. So, but otherwise, for content, no.
Yeah, that's right. So it's all about page 1. And so it may be very time-consuming, very expensive, and maybe almost impossible for you to rank on page 1 for your main keywords, but we can definitely get that video to rank, and that's what you want to do. And here's a question. Let's say you go to Google and you do a search and you see a bunch of listings and you see a YouTube video. Well, if the YouTube video, if that thumbnail is compelling, what are you more apt to click on anyways? You're probably going to click on that image, on that video. And today, YouTube is doing so many updates. Google's doing so many updates to YouTube. It's great. Every day there's something new. And one of the most recent updates is you can now upload a custom thumbnail. So what you do is you can create a really sexy thumbnail that will garner attention, and then upload that, and then people are most certainly going to click on that rather than any other listings. And you can dominate by utilizing YouTube videos. It's pretty powerful.
With that said, and I don't have a lot of info at hand, but we will do another, I think, hangout on the subject. But Facebook are getting big into the video game. They brought out some video marketing tools, and the word on the wire there, they're actually going to be implementing a lot of the YouTube features in terms of number of views and making it a lot more of a viral tool. So far, videos within Facebook, they're great. They go viral more than the YouTube videos that are pushed into Facebook. But the problem is you can't track the popularity of the Facebook thing from a marketing perspective. But I think YouTube are going to be changing that. I think they're going to be taking, they're going to see if they can take on YouTube, which they have the user base. So we'll come back to that another time and kind of give you some intel on how to use the Facebook video features coming up soon, maybe at one of our events. But we'll keep you posted. So to wrap up, we talked about shooting ourselves in the videos. What are some of the options for people who are camera shy, not comfortable in front of the video? What can they do to create videos?
Sure. Well, if you have a partner or somebody else that wants to record the video, that certainly is acceptable. But if you're really shy and you don't have a partner that can do it, screen capture videos are great. It's like basically doing a PowerPoint presentation and then just videoing it, and then you can talk it out, or you could even have somebody else talk it out. Virtual assistants can create these screen capture videos as well, or PowerPoint videos. It's all relative, and this will work too. Just any type of video content is fine as long as it's informative and engaging.
And what about Penscribe? When do you and do you not use a Penscribe video?
Sure. So if you don't know what a Penscribe video, you've probably what a Penscribe video is, you've probably seen them before. Penscribe videos are where it draws out like, "Hello, welcome. This was John. John had a problem," and these used to be very expensive to create. And when they first came out, I think they were like $1,000 a minute, and then the price has been going down ever since. But now you can actually pick up the software to create these Penscribe videos, and they were incredibly effective in the early days. Today, they're still somewhat effective. They're decent. So I would, if you can pick up the inexpensive software and create a Penscribe video, why not? I think you could probably do pretty well with that. And there are other options as well. There's a whole bunch of different animated platforms where they'll create animated figures, and you just type in the information or utilize the software. So there's certainly a myriad of different alternative options to actually doing a talking head video.
And I don't believe we've used it for a long, long time, but at one point we were looking at article to video robot software.
Yeah.
Are they still valid? Do they still work?
Well, they certainly work to get videos out there, and what Bijal is talking about is there are, I think one of the platforms we used was called Article Video Robot. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And so what we would do is we'd upload articles, and then it would create a video with a digital voice and the whole nine. It certainly is something. It's content you can get up there. Is it really engaging? Probably not. It's not a bad idea to use if you're just really not comfortable on camera, but there may be some better options.
One way I know that it does get used is when you want to rank your article. You can use the tool to create the video, not for the video itself, but to embed the video with the right keywords back into the article. That does seem to boost up the article SEO. Again, you probably don't want anyone to really watch the video per se, but it will give your article a boost.
Yeah, that's a good idea because Google is transcribing video and indexing it based on that. So it's a good idea.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of this hangout. Again, this is we could probably do a day's worth of video on videos, but I know we want to respect your time, so I think we'll bring this to a close.
Great. Well, we'd like to offer you some free goodies. It wouldn't be a hangout without an ethical bribe. We'd love for you to get more information on outsourcing, marketing, and delegation. We have some great free gifts for you, including my 5-part list building video series, also our VA service guide, and a educational webinar where we offer 3 months of free service at 123Employee. And to get registered up and to get all these goodies and more, simply go to 123employee.com. That's 123employee.com. You can, if you're watching this hangout, you have the option of going to the enterprise site or to the small business site. I would click on small business and then opt yourself in right there on the home page, and you'll get all this free stuff and so much more. And we look forward to sharing all this great information with you, empowering you to make better marketing decisions and to get leverage on what you're currently doing. And on behalf of myself and Bijal, I want to thank you for watching this Hangout. And until then, this is Davin Michaels. Live your true life adventure. See you soon.
Bye for now.